All right. Well, thank you to all of our YouTube questions and followers. We really do appreciate it. And so now we're going to go on to our emails. Some of these emails I did edit down, so I hope you guys don't mind. But I do appreciate your stories that you shared with us, and some of them I left as is. All right, now for our email questions, Mary W. from Destin, Florida asked, it's like, hello guys, I love your channel and I can't wait to see what it develops into. My question is, why don't you use a box curriculum? Well, one of the reasons why we don't use a box curriculum is because it is very structured, and I wanted to create something that was built around my son's needs and his learning abilities. Like in some areas, he's on level at third grade level, but in other areas, he might be doing second grade work, and then in other areas, he might be at fourth or fifth grade level work. So, with a box curriculum, you have to follow a certain structure. It's almost like Saxon math, where they tell you how to teach it and when you're supposed to do it, like what day of the week and things like that. So that's one of the reasons why we don't use it. Not to mention it, many of the box curriculums are very expensive. So when you do your own studies, when you build your own curriculum, it is a lot cheaper. So Mary, thank you for that question. The next question comes from Lakesha J from Little Rock, Arkansas. Hey Joseph and family, I would like to know if you could each tell me something about yourselves, an unknown fact thus far on your channel that might surprise me or others. Okay, you ready for this, guys? All right, I'll go ahead and start. That way I'll give them time to think about these questions because they haven't seen these questions, but I have. So an unknown fact about myself is I'm actually became I'm actually very introverted. I'm very shy. And so doing these videos and doing this whole YouTube channel is actually causing me or helping me to come out of my box to be extroverted. And but the funny thing is I used to be extroverted when I was younger, but then after I got involved with him, and especially after I became a father, and all my attention started being focused on him, I became very introverted. And so doing this is like helping me to rediscover
your lost extrovertedness.
Yes, exactly. So that's my little unknown secret. So Zachary, tell us a little unknown fact about you.
Well, with me, I think I'm kind of like independent.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just like to do my own thing versus having help all the time. I do need help sometimes, but I'm also really independent.
Very good. That's a very good answer. And you, James?
I don't know.
Yes, you do know.
He is nervous.
I think I'm the one that's more introverted.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's been introverted since I first met him almost 20 years ago, or more than 20 years ago.
And I think that's probably rubbed off onto him.
Yeah, I would say so, because they say that happens in relationships, so.
Yeah, you start becoming the one.
Right.
And after 20 years.
Right.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We'll do him another day. You can give an almost 50-year-old man a break.
All right. And he's not almost 50.
I'm not almost 50.
All right.
47.
All right. Samantha K. from Tucson, Arizona. She writes, hi. I also have a son with ADHD, and he is currently in third grade for a second year in a row. He was held back. When I saw your episode on why you decided to homeschool, I was floored by the similarities of both our experiences with our children. I can relate to you because it seems all I have conversations on with my son's teachers and principals are about his behavior. In fact, after I saw your video, I had to actually think back to when anyone from his school actually talk to me about his academics and not his behaviors. Sadly, they haven't done that since he was in first grade. So thank you for helping me to realize that fact and for inspiring me to do homeschooling for him next year. But my question is, how and where do I start? Then I have two questions for Zach about his ADHD. Well, let me answer that question for you before we get to Zachary. How and where do you start? I would say the first thing you do is contact your local school district on the process, or you might look on the internet for your state to see what the process is. Because here in Washington, all we had to do was fill out this like affidavit, this little form stating that we're going to homeschool him, and sign it and turn it into the district. But we still have to follow district rules about the type of subjects that we need to follow. That's why we have so many curriculum videos, because those are all the subject areas that we have to cover within the school year. And then also they have other certain rules, like you have to make sure that you homeschool within a certain time period. I forget the exact number of days here in Washington, but I believe it's like 120 or 150 or something like that. But each state is different, so check with your states, check with your school district on the process, and definitely do research on the internet on that. And to help you out, I might actually do a separate video altogether on how to get started with homeschooling within the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that. All right, Samantha? And now to answer the next question you have, then I have two questions for Zachary about his ADHD. Do you prefer being in a classroom with 30 kids and one teacher, or do you like being the only student getting one-on-one time with your teacher/parent?
Well, I liked being with 30 kids and one teacher, because I can also sometimes I can talk to them in class, but I would always get yelled at for talking to them in class.
How do you think you're learning better? You think you're learning better in that environment at school, or you think you're learning more with just being here in homeschool?
Being here in homeschool, because like you said, they just worry about my behavior and not my education.
Right. And he loves attention, and so getting that one-on-one attention, it's just like that's something he craves. And so because we are able to do that for him, that's one of the reasons why it's working. All right. And then the second question is, how do you control your ADHD and calm yourself down when you feel you might be becoming unfocused or hyper?
One thing you're doing right now.
Well, I'm fidgeting with my best friend's tail. See?
Yeah. So what does that do to you? You want to demonstrate what you do?
Well, I rub it on the knot. That's why I tie knots in his tail sometimes. He doesn't mind, and then I just fidget with my fingers like this. That calms me down.
Yeah, just something kind of basic, even with just his tail, or like you saw with his necklace, just kind of doing that just with the fingers.
Yeah, and just
Right.
Kind of helps.
Yeah, and he loves his new tail.
Right.
Because since the other one fell out, so he likes this one because it's longer, and he can do this.
And what about these things?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
What about those things? So what is this? You want to show people this? We're going to cover you up for a second. See? Ugh. So what is that?
A weighted blanket.
And what did these do for you? And what's this? This is a weighted lap pad?
Yeah.
A Spider-Man one? What did these do for you?
Well, these can also calm me down, but they can also make me kind of hot. So
Yeah.
I can.
Well, especially now during like the weather's getting warm and all that, he does get hot with it. So that's when we usually have to have the air conditioner on full blast. But we actually used to make these weighted blankets before we started homeschooling them. That was sort of like our own personal little side home business.
Yeah.
Where we made these weighted blankets for him, and we actually made a bunch for his school. And these are just leftover ones we had. But he either holds them on his lap or sit up, or he likes putting them around his neck. And because of the weight,
I put my stuffed snake around my neck.
yeah,
It's also
now
weighted.
Now you
yeah,
do.
yeah, now you do. But before I used to put this, and it adds comfort to him, and it's all, how would you describe it?
It feels like a hug, and it's really warm and nice feeling.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
but yeah, so he uses, either a lap pad or he uses his very first weighted blanket that we made him.
The-
Was Ninja Turtle weighted blanket. And we decided to start making these because we were looking for one online because his doctor recommended it to help with his needs, because they actually work really well for kids who have ADHD, sensory processing disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, and some forms of autism. So his doctor recommended it for him, and we went online and started looking for them, but they're like very
expensive.
very, very, very expensive. And then he happens to know how to sew, so we decided we'll just make
Thanks,
one
Mom.
ourselves at half the price, basically.
He went slaving, and then there he went slaving away night after night after night with no sleep.
Yep. And so these are just like part of the things that Zachary uses to calm down. And he actually has a friend that has special needs too, that he gave one to, that he actually uses at night for his special needs, and it helps him to sleep. All right, so thank you, Samantha K. from
Yep.
Tucson, Arizona, for your question.
That was
Okay, our next question goes to the Brine family from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Taylor family. We just love, 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 love your channel. My wife has been homeschooling our children for 4 years now, while I worked full time. However, after seeing you guys, my wife and I now started a conversation about her going back to work full time, and then I would take over the role of teacher and become a stay-at-home dad. I am actually pretty excited to take on that role after watching you guys. So Joseph, what do you feel is the biggest obstacle you have faced in this role? The biggest obstacle I feel I probably have faced was because actually when he started preschool, that's when I started going back to school to finish my degree. And I just got my degree last summer. I got my bachelor's. And so I think the biggest obstacle is basically not going back into the workforce full time using that degree. So I basically just have to readjust my priorities and just realize that's something for my future, and my main attention has to be on my son right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I think that's probably one of the biggest obstacles I face, as well as time management, because I'm really bad at that. I've always been bad at that. So just learning how to better manage my time into daily aspects of everyday life and his homeschool and other things I need to get done. And then the Brine family also wants to know from James, would you ever switch roles with Joseph, and what role do you play now?
I think right now, I think I kind of like the way it is right now. I see it as working. I think I've thought about that too, switching the roles, and then because right now I'm working full time, and then I kind of do the field trips with Zach. We do a lot of adventures out at the beach since we're so close to the sound, and so doing that science and math piece there.
Right.
So that's
yeah.
kind of what my role is in it. And then also I do a lot of the things like the social stuff with him too, with the parks, adventures out, just nature sort of things.
That works.
That
I like
works.
adventure.
Right.
Yeah, he likes adventures, so we do the adventure thing.
Also woody areas.
Right.
Like walking in woody areas and taking hikes and things.
Yeah. So he covers like the subjects that I'm weakest in, like math and science. So he covers that because that's his strength, and then I cover the other areas that are my strengths with them. And then also we have this dynamic where we know how to communicate effectively with one another to get the daily work done, because we're at a point now where he knows what he has to do with his work boxes or his work box in the classroom. He knows how we do our lessons every day, and what I expect from him too. So I mean, the dynamics all around just work. But yeah, and then all right, and then finally the Brine family asks, actually asked all of us, what is your favorite store-bought snack? Oh, that's a very good question, Brine family. You want to tell them yours, Zachary?
Fritos. I can't live without them. I need them.
And why do you love Fritos, Zachary?
Cause they're nice and salty. I like salty foods.
Yeah, who got you started on Fritos, Zachary?
My grandma.
Yeah, his grandma that he stayed with when we went on our 20th anniversary trip this past January. He can't live without those. And what about yours, James?
M&ms. Gotta be my favorite. Have to be peanut. No chocolate ones, just peanut ones.
Right.
Yeah, he feels like Scat and the acorn. Ice Age, Scat and the acorn with those things.
Right. And if you haven't tried the M&M new one on the market, the chili one,
or the honey.
No, the chili one's really good. You have to try that.
It sticks to the back of your throat.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, the little spiciness does, yeah, but that's what makes it good. Mm-hmm. All right, and then my favorite is the Haribo gummy bears, and these have actually been my favorite since I was a little kid. I was raised in a military family, and when my mom and dad used to go to the commissary as a kid, they used to give me these because that's the only place you could find them because they actually came from Germany, and now they're like all over the place. So that's my favorite candy. Alright, so thank you, Brine Family, for all your questions from Ontario, Canada. Okay, the next question comes from Christine C. from Fort Worth. It's like, Dear Joseph and James, thank you so much for this wonderful show that you are creating for us on YouTube. I wanted to let you know that I'm an avid YouTube watcher and creator. I wouldn't worry about the camera so much. I can see that it bothers you. You know it is your content and regular uploads that we love and the reason we watch. And we don't care if it's blurry or out of focus. Well, thank you very much, Christine. And so just keep uploading those episodes of creative and honest content and you will go far. My question is, I noticed in many homeschool videos, other homeschool YouTubers refer to or address only moms or use a female pronoun when talking to their audience. I was wondering if that bothers you as a male or as a dad. And the honest answer is no, because this has been a mom's world. Homeschooling barely took.
So, this is exciting.
And so
exciting but tiring.
Right, I understand, sweetie. We're almost done. Okay, and so, but this has basically been a mom's world. I mean, homeschooling took off like in the 1980s when it was just moms, but it really didn't gain popularity until like the past 5 years or so. And I can understand why there are actually a lot of dads out there who homeschool, but they don't want to come forward for many reasons. Maybe it had to do with gender roles or income or things like that, and they are sort of still in the closet, and that's understandable. But hopefully as on in popularity and moves forward, then maybe more dads will come out. And I always say parents versus saying that moms or dads. I always refer to my audience as parents. So maybe those pronouns change over time as more people come forward. So Christine, thank you for your question. Then Isabel R. says, Hi, we are a lesbian couple from Long Beach, and we just want to let you know that you are a great inspiration to our homeschooling family. You are our #1 YouTube channel that we draw creativity from when we feel we are hitting a rock wall. So we were wondering, what other YouTubers or YouTube channels do you draw inspiration from? Who are your favorites? Well, I will answer that since I'm the YouTube one here in the family. And I seem to draw inspiration from Casey Neistat just because he has a wonderful creative eye for photography. And so I sort of inspire to be like him. And then Zachary likes Beauty Pie, right?
Yeah.
Beauty Pie! Beauty Pie! Zachary loves him because he's a gaming channel. And then he also makes that funny intro. And then as far as homeschooling ones, I like Dr. J and Just So Sue because they've been in the homeschooling arena for a very long time. They have multiple kids, and so they know exactly what to do. So if you ever had any questions, just go to them and they will answer them. Trust me. And then I also like my little smarty pants because she's a whiz and very knowledgeable at online resources that you can use for your child. And then I also like Vintage Life in the Piney Woods. So if you need a laugh, contact Molly, check out her videos, and she'll make you laugh. Trust me, just her expressions alone, her reaction, especially like to her daughter in certain situations, is hilarious. So tune into her. But those are just a few, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a whole separate video on some of my favorite YouTubers. So make sure you tune into that. I'll probably have that up in the next couple of weeks. All right. Okay, and then the final one comes from Jeremy S. And this one's kind of like a serious one. And I wasn't sure if I would add it in or not, but I decided just because of the issue, I probably should. And so he writes, "Hello Taylor family, my name is Jeremy and I am a freshman in college. I started watching your channel a few months ago and I want to thank you for changing my life. See, I was raised in a conservative small town in northern Alabama." He's now currently in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. "And my parents raised me and homeschooled me in a very religious household. Everything I was taught in every subject was from the Bible. My parents were very controlling of me as a child, and it became even worse when I was 15 and came out of the closet. In my household, we never watched TV, and the only time we were able to use the computer was for studies, but it was carefully monitored by my parents. Then after coming out, my parents did what they could to change me. I spent more time in the pastor's office in my church, like a kid in public school would, as like going to a principal's office for discipline. But between these visits and lectures from my church, and the lectures my church was giving me and the lectures I got at home about being gay, according to them, I was destined for a life of loneliness, being unmarried, no children, and basically no life, and I would most likely die of AIDS or another disease before I reached the age of 35. So when I left for college this year, it was bittersweet. I was happy to be getting away from my small town and family, but I was also depressed due to the brainwashing my parents told me about being gay. I was depressed because, to me, this was the start of my life of loneliness. I was even considering suicide. I didn't know anything else. Then when I started using the internet to its full advantage here at school, which I was not allowed to do at home, that is when I came across your videos and others videos like, and other I'm assuming saying videos or people like you guys. You guys have proven everything that my parents and church told me to be false. I admire you guys so much and look up to your family as a goal of the type of life I want to achieve in my future. So please don't stop making videos. You are making a difference. My question to you all is, do you plan to expand your show to make it more like a family vlog, or do you plan just to keep it with homeschooling topics? I personally think you should do a family vlog. Well, thanks again for saving my life and for being an inspiration for me, Jeremy." Well, thank you, Jeremy, for your letter and for opening up, because coming out is never easy, and especially if you're in the circumstance that you're in, we congratulate you for surviving it, and considering suicide is never an issue and never a way out. Trust me, there's always a better way, because life does get better for you. It may not seem like it now, but it will. But suicide is a very serious issue, especially in college, where every year there's approximately 1,200 college students that actually do take their lives, and 1 in every 10 college students every year contemplate suicide. It's a very serious issue. When I was in college, I actually did work for a suicide hotline, and so I'm very knowledgeable in this area. And so suicide's never the answer. Your school, just like every other college out there, has counseling services that you've already paid for through your fees when you registered for school, register for your classes every quarter or semester. So it's already paid for. They're free services. If you ever need to talk, go and talk to them. But thank you for your letter, and I'm glad that we're an inspiration to you. And to answer your question as far as our channel, well, that's up to you, Jeremy, and to the other guys who watch us. I'm going to be adding like different types of videos over the next couple months, and I guess it's going to be you, the viewers, who decide what you like and what you don't like. And so it's like, if we do a video, a family vlog about our day out on the town or on an adventure or something, and it gets like 1,000 views or something, then maybe we might start doing more videos like that. Or if the curriculum video or homeschool videos get more views, then maybe we'll just stick with that venue. I don't know. It's basically up to you guys, to YouTube, to you in the YouTube world, what you want to see from us. I do have some ideas, things I would like to do, and maybe I'll put that in another video and see what sort of response I get from the YouTube community and those who watch YouTube, and see what you think. But again, thank you, and so again, if you want to see more of us and as a family versus just me talking to you about curriculum, then let us know. Let us know down below, and especially like subscribe. I mean, if you subscribe, then you'll be kept up to date on all our videos. All right, and so oh, I almost forgot.